Muchachos y muchachas, I am back, but the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is not. It's actually on break for the next 3, or actually after today, 2 more days. I believe that makes Thursday when they're going to resume trial. This was something that they announced earlier on in the trial. I believe it was due to some scheduling conflict with the judge and some other cases. I'm not entirely sure, but it won't be back till Thursday. So until then, we will be covering other news. And this one I found very interesting. It was on Neverland Ranch. And if you guys remember anything about a Neverland Ranch, it was very infamous for a certain reason. Owned by Michael Jackson and had a very negative connotation as it attracted young children. And even the allegations that were put up against Michael Jackson. So I just find it weird that this particular individual purchased Neverland Ranch, and not to make it his own ranch, but to restore it's back to Neverland Ranch as it was infamously known. And it was purchased by a billionaire named Ron Burkle. He used to be pals with Bill Clinton as well as Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, stay right there. We're going to go through it. A new study is highlighting some important facts about our wrinkles. In this study, women were asked how their mood would change if they looked younger. 31% of these women said that they feel more confident, while 15% said they would feel more like themselves. 11% said they feel more relaxed, while 9% said they'd be happier. Our confidence is sometimes directly tied to our appearance. Unfortunately, wrinkles and sagging skin can hold us back from reaching our true happiness we deserve. This is why I highly recommend Glow with Natly. I couldn't believe how effective this rejuvenating serum really was when I first started using it. Within no time, my skin felt smoother and firmer. It's the only anti-aging serum I've ever used that truly works for me. If you want to help restoring your youthful glow, you'll love Glow with Natly. Get up to 38% off in the next 24 hours by going to glowwithnatly.com or by clicking the link below. All right, now that we're back, Ron Burkle, again, very interesting character, was friends with Bill Clinton. Apparently he's not anymore, and I will go through that piece as well. Flew the Lolita Express, was in the little black book of Jeffrey Epstein, and he purchased Neverland Ranch and restored it back to what it was before. I don't know. I find it a little weird. We're going to go through these details. I'll let you see for yourself, and then we're going to go through some more just to give you a little bit more insight about him and his pals. So with that being said, aerial photos show Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch restored to children's fairy tale, complete with carnival rides after billionaire pal of Bill Clinton bought the rotting estate at $22 million. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch has been restored back to the children's paradise after it sat rotting after aerial photos show Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch has been restored back to a children's paradise after it sat rotting following the pop star's death. Billionaire Ron Burkle purchased Michael Jackson's Neverland for $22 million in December of last year. An exclusive DailyMail.com aerial photo showed that the work he put in to make it a fairy tale land once more. Yeah. The wealthy businessman has reinstalled carnival rides and repaired the train track with wraps around a 2,700-acre estate. Once the home to the king of pop, the ranch at Santa Ynez Valley, California, was inspired by J.M. Barrie's novel Peter Pan and featured an amusement park and zoo. As can be seen in the stunning exclusive images, Burkle has recreated the same theme with the slide, swings, a spinning teacup, and pirate ship. He revitalized the infamous floral Neverland clock face and train station. So I'm going to show you guys the before and after photos. Now, Burkle was a financial advisor to Michael Jackson after meeting him at an event for underprivileged children in the mid-2000s. Again, listen, I'm just gonna say this, okay? He restored everything, right? He restored the what seemed to be the attractions, the slide, the teacup ride, and the clock, the infamous the clock at the very beginning of the courtyard. The only thing that I have to say about all this is why. Why we already know that all these things kind of have a negative connotation. The Neverland Ranch, we know that Michael Jackson invited young kids. We've even seen, and if you haven't seen them, I would dig these interviews up. In the 90s, he did an interview with, I don't know, I think it was like 60 Minutes or something like that. And he was hand in hand with a young boy. He was really defensive about, it's just a lot. Okay. It's just a lot. I just don't know why anybody would restore this ranch to its original, its original attraction when it has such a negative connotation to you. You know what I mean? I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. It could be something. I don't know. But we'll keep on reading, and I'll just, give you guys more clues as to why I'm weirded out. Continued on. So Ron Burkle, he snapped up the property at nearly $80 million less than the asking price. So he snagged the property for $22 million. If it's $80 million less, then it was supposed to sell at $100 million. Now, I don't know if how long this property has been sitting. I believe it's been sitting since 2016, maybe. $80 million is a lot of money to sell it under market, but giving it the benefit of the doubt, maybe there was some rotting problems, asbestos, maybe some renovations needed. Who knows? But yeah, that's a lot of money to knock off the asking price. So this is Neverland Ranch before, and this is it right now as it's been sort of restored. So before and after. Before and after. Continued on. Let's go down to the next photo. And you can also see here, this was before, and all of the rides actually got auctioned off, prior. So this was the property before Ron Burkle, and this is it right now. And as you can see, a brand new, what is that called? A carousel ride, a plane ride, the teacup ride, and another ride in the back. Some new shrubs. It looks to be, I don't know. It just. Yeah, I find it strange. I do. Let's continue reading on and find a little bit more out about Mr. Burkle. The 69-year-old businessman also appeared in the flight log for Jeffrey Epstein's notorious private jet, the Lolita Express. That's right. Being named 3 times on trips with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey. A 2008 Vanity Fair story claimed that Burkle's usual means of transport is a custom-converted Boeing 757 that Clinton, as in Bill Clinton, he calls it Ron Air, and Burkle's own circle of young aides privately refer to it as Air F1. Yeah, again, Air F1, really? It's just strange, right? Like, why would they call it Air F1? What would it be going on there? What would be happening on this jet? So you're telling me that he owned a private jet similar to Jeffrey Epstein's. They called it, his associates and people who worked under him, they called it Air F1. Interesting. And he was a pal of Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. Continued on. President Obama also welcomes Burkle at the White House in 2016 when the Pittsburgh Penguins, the hockey team owned by Burkle, won the Stanley Cup. In July, Burkle explained the Neverland purchase, stating that he was looking to buy the property next door as a new location for his luxury members only club Soho House, where he is the controlling shareholder, but decided it was too remote. Instead, he bought his friend's ranch, which had been purchased by Colony Capital in 2008. Now, get this. The chairman of Colony Capital, Tim Barak, was recently indicted for working as an agent for a foreign power and released on a $250 million bond. Just a bit strange. More strange things. To the Wall Street Journal, 𝘱𝘏 explained that he wanted to give the ranch a facelift, repair the train station, which had been damaged by woodpeckers, fix the roads, and eventually get the train line back up and running again. It was kind of a depressing place. He says it wasn't a beautiful place that it was before. It just needed flowers and life in it again, he said. Now, again, I just have to mention it one more time. Why? These things have negative connotations to them. These things were alleged for bad things. Allurement for bad things. Why would we want to restore it back to that origination? 𝘱𝘏 is said to be worth at least $2 billion. He's the founder of venture capitalist 𝘥𝘐𝐵𝘢. That's what it's called. 𝘥𝘞𝐫𝐿 companies. So he wasn't strapped for cash when it came to renovating the estate completely. The estate had been on the market on and off since 2016. It had fallen into despair after police raided the ranch and charged the king of pop with 7 counts of child molestation. Although he was sensationally acquitted, Jackson vowed to never step foot in Neverland again. I wonder why. I wonder why, if he was acquitted and he had nothing to hide and did nothing wrong, why would your psyche not want you to step back on a property that you did nothing wrong on? Okay, I might be a little bit critical here. Okay, I just, all of this is just weird. Even back then, it was just very strange. And even more so that we're just restoring it back to its strangeness. Previous photos showed that the flower clock and train track were left in ruins, with the fun fair completely ripped out, which previously had a Ferris wheel, a carousel, bumper cars, and amusement arcade, all of which were sold at an auction. According to the real estate listing, the ranch boasts 21 structures, including multiple guest houses and a 50-seat movie theater. There's also a swimming pool with a cabana, a basketball court, and a tennis court set among the grounds. Jackson famously gave the property fantasy touches for his young fans and to enjoy when they visited, but he was accused by the multiple alleged victims of abusing them at the ranch. He died at 50 Michael Jackson died at 50 years old at an OD at a different home in the Holmby Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles in 2009. So with that being said, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on Ron Burkle, just because, again, he has a very interesting history of friendship. Ron Burkle raised, this is coming from Los Angeles Times, and this was an article dated back in 2016. Here you can see a photo of Ron Burkle and Bill Clinton, I guess at an estate somewhere, being pals. So Ron Burkle raised $10 million for the Clintons. Now he has almost nothing to do with them. Yeah. Hillary Clinton and her surrogates scour the country for mega donors. The one left-leaning billionaire they are not approaching is one who knows the first couple more intimately than any of the others. Ron Burkle figures that over the years he raised about $10 million for the Clintons at his sprawling Beverly Hills estate. After Bill Clinton left the White House, he and Burkle jetted around the world in the unconventional partnership that netted the former president about $15 million, and Burkle entry into the palaces and offices of world dignitaries. For years, when Clinton dropped into Los Angeles, he would only stay at Ronnie's place, Green Acres, once owned by silent film star Harold Lloyd. Clinton was fond of the home and its history. So what's Ron Burkle done for the Clintons lately? Nothing. And this was back in 2016, mind you. Hillary Clinton says, they never asked me for a penny. Her campaign said during a rare interview in his West Hollywood office that touched on the dim outlook towards Hillary as a candidate, Bill's post-presidential role with Burkle's investment firm, and what exactly happened in those plane rides. The festering weirdness between the California billionaire and the Clintons might have drifted out of sight, but for the Burkle's decision to start raising capital funds for a candidate other than Hillary Clinton, he's co-hosting a fundraiser this month for Republican John Kasich at a Soho house in West Hollywood. Burkle says he might decide in the end to back Clinton, or he might not. The billionaire, who counts supermodel Gisele Bündchen among his best friends, who helped the FBI investigate the New York Post gossip columnist suspected of trying to shake him down, who jets around the globe in a private 757, Hillary Clinton just isn't recreating the magic for her husband. Burkle lumps Hillary Clinton in with a group well-meaning, this article claims, well-meaning Democratic presidential nominees who faltered. Al Gore and John F. Kennedy candidates Burkle robustly supported. She is brilliant, but it's troubling disconnected with the electorate, he says. As much as I like Gore, Kennedy, and Hillary Clinton, nobody can ever remember what they stand for. He said they overcomplicate it. They don't win on vision. They make it too complicated. They don't win on likability. He says President Obama has a bitter disappointment failing to deliver on his promises to work with Republicans. Bill Clinton, though, says he still adores despite what looked like a very public breakup. He reminisced about Clinton parachuting into town and wanting Burkle to line up interesting people for him to meet from early morning through late night. Hillary Clinton, not so much. Burkle said that she and her longtime aide, 𝘱𝘰𝘵𝘬𝘮, would hole up in a posh Hotel 𝘱𝘭𝑟 during campaign swings in 2007. They wouldn't see anyone, he said. They didn't want any of it. Clinton in Los Angeles on Thursdays for a series of fundraisers. He's due in Los Angeles, I guess, back in that time on that Thursday for a series of fundraisers and campaign appearances. So, with that being said, I just wanted to highlight that it's apparent that he used to be very associated with Clinton and, Hillary Clinton, and it appears that he sort of detached from there. So I don't know. There's just the transpiration of events are just a roller coaster, no pun intended, but the renovations on this Neverland ranch just seem very, again, to revitalize or refresh that negative connotation of the home and what it was affiliated with. It's just not sitting well with me. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what his aim is here for, but also the negative association that he does have with Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just find that part very strange. But we'll see what happens, and we'll see what it's used for, as maybe the Daily Mail will keep up with this type of content. With that being said, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to my channel. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Be sure to tell somebody about this channel. Drop this link in whatever chats you have: Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, WhatsApp, whatever you got going on. Be sure to, again, like, share, subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next episode.